What would make an artist refuse to move on from an album, even after it's already been released? Because that's exactly what S.G. Goodman just did, and the reason behind it is far deeper than music. She grew up in the bottomlands of southwestern Kentucky, a place where land, tradition, and rhythm of nature aren't just background details, they shape how people think, and that upbringing never really left her. In 2025, she released Planting by the Signs, an album inspired by an old farming belief, planting crops based on lunar cycles. For most artists, that would have been the finished chapter, but for Goodman it wasn't. Something about it stayed with her, and instead of moving on to a brand new era, she did something almost unheard of in today's music industry. She went back and expanded it, but this wasn't a label-driven deluxe edition. According to her, it felt more like unfinished soil finally getting its next season. And that's where things start to get interesting. Because this belief system she sings about isn't just poetic imagery. It comes from real rural tradition, something she grew up hearing in Hickman, Kentucky, where people truly believed the moon could guide planting, growth, and harvest. But the deeper meaning of the project isn't just about farming, it's about identity. Goodman has openly said that people outside the South often misunderstand where she comes from. They see headlines, maps, voting patterns, and assume that tells the whole story. But she pushes back hard on that idea. In her words, what's missing is complexity. And that becomes the emotional core of this entire project, showing a version of the South that is layered, divided, creative, and deeply human, not just reduced to stereotypes. But what makes this expansion even more unexpected is who shows up on it. One of the standout moments is a reimagined version of the title track featuring Tyler Childers and Senora, their first official duet ever released. And according to Goodman, that collaboration wasn't industry planned or strategically engineered. It came from personal connection. She already knew Senora's family shared similar beliefs about farming and tradition, so when the idea came up, it didn't feel like a feature, it felt like continuation. But just when you think this project is rooted only in tradition, she flips the entire mood. Because she also reimagined a cult classic from the 90s, Pepper by the Butthole Surfers, transforming it into something slower, heavier, and unmistakably Southern in tone. And her reasoning is simple but bold. She doesn't want to be a karaoke artist. She wants to rebuild songs into something new after they pass through her perspective, almost like reshaping sound itself. But underneath all of this creativity, there's a quieter tension running through her story. Because Goodman openly challenges the modern music system where artists are often pushed to move fast, release more, and constantly stay visible. Instead, she chose something different: slow growth, community, and intention. She even donates part of the album's proceeds to her local NPR station in Kentucky, grounding the project back into the same communities that shaped her. And that's where the deeper conflict becomes clear. Art versus commerce, speed versus meaning, visibility versus authenticity. And Goodman doesn't pretend it's an easy balance. But maybe the most surprising part of all is this: she doesn't even see Planting by the Signs as something that's finished. Not really. In her mind, it keeps evolving, it keeps growing, it keeps changing form as long as people are still listening. And in an industry obsessed with the next big thing, she's doing the opposite. She's refusing to let the story end at all. Because for S.G. Goodman, music isn't a product you finish, it's something you keep planting.